sounds good. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bill, for that presentation. I will also echo some of the information that you mentioned in my presentation. So hopefully everybody can hear me and see my slide, but just in case you have any trouble, just let us know. Welcome everyone. I see that there are almost 370 of you. So thanks everyone for showing up and participate. This is a great showing. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about what it feels like to sit in an MSBA classroom in the Carlson School of Management. And specifically, how does AI factor into the way that we teach different courses from my personal perspective? So I want to start by giving you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Mochen Yang, and I'm associate professor at Information Decision Science Department. Both as a professor and as an instructor, my passion is to help people and organizations make better decisions with tools from machine learning and business analytics in general. So I am sort of involved in the MSBA program in terms of teaching two courses, one at the very beginning and one at the very end. So the first course I teach, which if you join the MSBA program with us, will be the very first course, one of the very first courses that you ever take, is MSBA 6131, Introduction to Business Analytics in R. And if you choose to if you choose to go for the AI track and or just select this elective, I will also see you at the very end and teach the MSBA 6461. This is the AI for Natural Language Understanding course. Now, I want to focus my presentation on these two courses because I teach them. Both courses involve the use and exposure to AI, but in very different ways. And the presentation I'm about to give is trying to give you a taste of what we're going to cover in these two courses and how would you experience the use of AI technology in these courses. Now, I want to make this presentation a little bit more interactive. So let me start with a little question for you. Now, you can't do this kind of thing without a fancy futuristic AI image. So here you go. Question is, imagine you have an AI, and by AI here specifically, just think about the most, fancy recent GPT-enabled AI systems. Imagine you have an AI system equipped with expert knowledge on business analytics. Okay, so what does that mean? Think about yourself. If you enroll in our MSBA program 1 year or 1.5 years from now, when you graduate, you'll be an expert on business analytics. So think about this AI already having that knowledge in its internal knowledge base. What would be one question you want to ask this AI system? So think about this question and type your question in the Zoom chat. In a couple minutes, I will select one of the questions and I'll show you one of the ways we can use AI in the classroom. So let me just enable chat on my end so I can see the things you type. So while you guys are thinking about the question you want to ask this AI system, this business analytics expert AI, I'm going to start talking about the first course I teach. And as I mentioned, this is going to be one of the first courses in the fall semester that sort of take you into the world of business analytics. Now, at the very beginning, you guys answered a poll in terms of what do you think is the role of AI in business transformation? And I'm really glad to see that 32% of you think about AI as a complementary set of technology to traditional approaches. I personally really echo with that view as well. And this particular course is designed exactly with that in mind. This course is designed not necessarily to teach you about AI yet, but to build a solid foundation of business analytics and machine learning upon which you will be able to learn a lot more things down the line in the program. So the first component of this course is really to expose you to the foundational, to the fundamentals. So basic, fundamental, and widely used concepts and techniques in business analytics, things that you may have already heard about, but don't necessarily know how to do. Things like association rule, cluster analysis, classification, numeric prediction, model evaluation, model selection, things like that. It also comes with a really, really deeply involved hands-on section, meaning that we will expose you to a programming language called R in order to really analyze some data sets and solve real-world problems. At the same time, I think one of the most important hallmark features of this particular course and in general of our MSBA program is that we also put a big emphasis on how you communicate your analytics effort. We don't just teach you about the technical stuff. We also teach you how to communicate your technical effort with relevant stakeholders, because at the end of the day, when you become a business analytics professional, you need to be able to do the analysis and also communicate your results, interpret your results, and convince people to make business decisions based on your analysis. So there's also a communication aspect built into this course. And all of this, at the end of the day, culminate into the live case. This is a four-week experiential learning component towards the end of the semester where you will work in groups and solve a real-world business analytics problem with a real-world client using actual data. Now, how does AI factor into this course? Here's how it factors into the course. Throughout this course, you will have access to what I call a MSBA 6130 AI Buddy. And what this AI Buddy does is that it is basically a TA chatbot that is powered by GPT-4, and it will be able to answer your analytics-related questions using my lecture material as its external knowledge base. So just to give you a quick sneak peek of what it looks like, this is what the system will be. This is what the system would generally look like with a little bit of modification to come. And this is a good time for me to select the questions you want to ask. We will be able to ask the question you want to ask live while I'm doing the presentation, and we'll come back to the screen to see what the AI chatbot would answer it. So there's a ton of questions in the chat. I won't be able to do all of them. So I'm going to just pick one. Okay, great. So as a business consultant, what would be the impact of AI on business consultancy service? I think this is a very general and interesting question. So I'll just ask this question. I will come back to the presentation after the slide or go back and look at the answers. So as I was mentioning before, right after you enter the program and enter this course, you'll be given access to this particular AI chatbot. As you learn the content of the course, you will be able to use this AI chatbot as your learning companion. It'll be available throughout the course and potentially throughout the entire MSBA program if we can figure out the details. So use it as your learning buddy. And this is how we give you the first exposure to modern AI systems and how it can help you in terms of making decisions and learning stuff. And just in case you're wondering, this thing will not be able to do your homework for you. If you ask it to do the homework for you, it will actually help you through learning the important concepts, but refrain from actually answering the homework questions for you. So let's come back, and hopefully it's already generated. Well, it's still thinking, so let's give it some time. And let me move on to talk about the second course. Now, suppose you like what you just saw in terms of the AI chatbot. You might be thinking, how do I build something like that in reality, right? We're just using it right now. Well, that's what MSBA 6461 is designed to do. We will actually dive into the nitty-gritty details of natural language understanding and large language model and give you a glimpse into how you can actually build and use such modern AI systems like ChatGPT. So this course covers very important innovations, recent and very cutting-edge natural language understanding innovations, such as deep learning neural networks, word embeddings, attention mechanism, transform models, large language models, and all of those things. We will be diving into very technical details, just because this is an elective course, and I want to sort of cover important technical details so that you have the relevant skill. At the same time, we will also talk about various different business applications that you might consider using these technologies for. And your task in this course at the end of the day is that you will be able to build your own large language model application as the result of this course. So that's the bulk of my presentation, and I'm hoping, yeah, there we go. It's giving you an answer, actually a 14 bullet point answer. So it says the impact of artificial intelligence on business consultancy is far-reaching and significant. It's giving you different ways that AI can impact business consultancy, like data analytics, data analysis and insights, process automation, predictive modeling. And by the way, many of these are actually covered in the MSBA program. Decision-making support, scalability, talent training, strategic planning, network relationships, blah, blah, blah. Very comprehensive answer as far as I can tell. Now, I know I just picked one question out of many that you guys typed into the chat. So if you're curious how this system will be able to answer your question, consider joining our program and you'll have access to the system. So that's my presentation, and that's what it feels like to be using AI technology in MSBA classroom. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have in the Q&A session. Thank you.
In terms of the program fees and everything like that, I'd be happy to post a link just so everyone can see it all written out. I always find it's helpful to have an actual reference to go to. So I'll be posting that shortly. But just to kind of reiterate, I know I mentioned it briefly in my presentation in regards to scholarships. When you apply to our program, every single student is automatically considered for all scholarships they're eligible for. So that means that you don't have to fill out 20 additional forms to be considered for every single scholarship. It's all automatic. We do what's called a holistic review when we consider a student for both scholarships and admissions. Holistic review means that we consider every single component in a student's application simultaneously. We never look at a single fact or figure in a vacuum. It's all considered together. It's highly individualized. We take a look at the entire student story. And then when a student is admitted into the program, they will also receive their scholarship offer at the same time. Historically, we've given out a maximum of 20,000 to individual students in scholarships, but we're still very early in the cycle, so that number could look higher this year. We're not quite sure yet. But if you have any further questions about scholarships or anything like that, always feel free to connect with me, and I'd be happy to have more conversation about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Garth. If you could drop a link in the chat window for everyone, I'm sure that would be very helpful to everyone who's attending today. Another question which quite a few students have asked, any one of you can take this on, is about, are there any certifications or courses which they could look into or they should look into if they are planning to pursue an MSBA program?
So I can start maybe answering this one, and then if Don and Mochen, if you want to jump in as well. So basically for this program, there is no required undergraduate background. There's no required professional background. We do have those prerequisites though. So you need to have a foundation in calculus and programming, and that's important because this is a highly technical program, so we want all the students that are entering this program to thrive and succeed in the classroom. So from my perspective, what I'd say is the more of a foundation you're able to get on the technical side of things before you apply or enter the program, the more competitive you'd be in general. But maybe Da or Mochen, you could jump in and just talk a bit about have students from backgrounds besides highly technical backgrounds been able to find success in the classroom?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an admission person, but as a program, what we're observing our students successful is, we have students from all kinds of background, whether science, engineering, or from business. We even have students from fields like journalism and agriculture. Once in a while we have. I think the key thing is, you're pursuing a data science professional. We want you to be passionate about this field, and you also need to have the necessary sort of prerequisites preparation. You have some programming preparation, you have some math-related preparation, either from your course, from your college degree, or we have on our website, we have one of those designated list of alternatives if you don't already have in your undergrad degree, and you want to demonstrate either you have pursued those interests or demonstrate that you have interest, whether from your work or you have done some project that shows you have experience and passion about it, right? And I think those are the critical. I think in terms of the mission, I don't think we particularly select a certain fields and majors, because the result is from students from all kinds of backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with Professor De. And from my personal observation experiences, we have admitted a wide array of background students with a wide array of backgrounds, and all of them were able to thrive in the program. I remember having students in my classroom with undergrad degree in accounting, in English, in history, and they are not. So please don't let your undergrad background sort of stop you from applying. And what at the end of the day make a difference is whether you are truly passionate about this and whether you are willing to do the hard work and learn.
Great. Just a follow-up question to that, is there a prerequisite in terms of number of years of work experience?
So no prerequisite for years of work experience. We do admit students directly out of undergrad. I will say about a third of our students come directly out of undergrad. If they are coming out of undergrad, we do like to see some kind of internship experience. So I'd say the most competitive students have some kind of years of work experience, but we absolutely still admit students directly out of undergrad.
Okay, great. I hope that answers quite a few questions which had come in the Q&A box with people coming in from different backgrounds. So I hope this has shed some light and given you some insight as to how eligible you are to apply. There is another question which I would like to take on, which is about how does, I think someone answered it, but I'll still take it for the majority of the audience which is present, is how does the integration of AI in the business analytics program benefit prospective students or students who are looking to come to Carlson in terms of skill development and career opportunities?
I can start with that. We have an advisory board. We meet about once or twice a year. In the last year or two, because of the ChatGPT, and everyone's talking about how they impact their organization. They want their employees to leverage, and they see it as a productivity tool. And they tell us, when we interview a candidate, we want them to actually talk about how did you use general AI in your work, and specifically your data science work, right? And they want to be able to have candidates who understand these tools, help them develop their own capabilities. So there are two kind of different needs. I think that's why we kind of integrate in our courses, because some courses teach you how to use, hey, you have this powerful tool that you can quickly generate, graphs and data explorations or text features that are newly available. You should totally leverage. So those part of it, and then Professor Mochen and some other courses teach you the theories, so you can responsible AI is very critical to this field, and these give you a competitive advantage. I think we're providing those just in time. Hopefully, we're one of the few programs that provided actually sooner than other programs, so that our candidates are in demand once you have this experience and understanding.
Great. Someone in the audience wants to know, what is the OPT duration post pursuing an MSBA program from Carlson?
Yeah, absolutely. So the OPT duration is you get an additional 2 years for STEM designated programs. So that's 3 years total of OPT time through the MSBA program.
Okay, great. I hope that answers your question, Kanika. The next question revolves around the TOEFL or the IELTS requirement for someone who's done their basic education in English. Also adding on to that, Gart, can you even speak a little bit more about, I had seen some questions regarding GMAT or the GRE requirement for this particular course as well.
Of course, yeah. So I'll start with the TOEFL and the IELTS. We do have very hard score minimums for the TOEFL and the IELTS if you're required to take it. And that's just, first off, it's just university policy. We have to keep those minimums. So even if you're 0.5 below one of your subscores, that's still, you would have to have a qualifying score in order to apply to this program. And I'm sure Do and Mochen can attest to the importance of being able to really communicate well in the classroom and on projects with clients. And so, yeah, you can see all of those score minimums on our website, on the application requirements website, which I'd be happy to post here shortly. In terms of the GMAT or GRE, we are test optional if you meet a certain GPA threshold. So if you have the equivalent to a cumulative undergraduate GPA of at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, which is a B average, then it's not required that you submit a GMAT or GRE test score with your application. If you don't meet that GPA threshold, you would be required to submit a GMAT or GRE test score.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope that answers the questions. Very quickly, I know we spoke about people from coming in from different backgrounds and how they can apply. But there is a question from someone who's mentioned that they have done an online MBA and are currently interested in pursuing the MSBA program. Do you accept online certifications as well?
Yeah. So any kind of degrees will want to, any kind of like undergraduate, graduate degrees will want to know about in your application. So please be sure to include all of that information when you're applying, hopefully by our January 15th deadline.
Great, great. A few people have asked, is there any application fee waivers which you are offering the students?
No, we're unfortunately not able to offer application fee waivers for the program.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take my next question, and someone wants to know, does this particular MSBA course even include natural language processing? Is that one of the cores of this particular course as well?
Yes, it is. There are several courses probably cover different pieces of natural language processing, but the elective course that I'll be teaching, AI for natural language understanding, is a major source of that knowledge. So from the sort of traditional approach of bag of words all the way to very cutting edge natural language understanding techniques, we'll be doing that.
Great. I hope that answers your question. This is a very important question which we usually get, Garth. It's around, are 4 years of undergraduate degree mandatory for a master's program at Carlson, or do you all happily accept students who have 3 years of undergraduate degree?
Great question. So in order to apply to our program or any program here at the University of Minnesota in the Carlson School of Management, you need to have the equivalent to a 4-year U.S. bachelor's degree. Typically, we get this question a lot in regards to 3-year degrees from India. Typically, a student with a 3-year degree from India needs an additional year of graduate education before they can apply to our program. That being said, though, if you want to be doubly sure and double check to see if your combination of degrees would be considered equivalent to a 4-year U.S. bachelor's degree, I'm going to post an email address here in the chat. It's basically our central graduate office, and you could send them your transcripts with your proof of degrees, and then they'll tell you definitively whether or not you can apply to our program.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm sure that is very insightful and helpful to most of the students present in the audience, since majority of the students in India do have a 3-year degree program. Another interesting question which has come up is, what are the job prospects, or what are the kind of job roles that someone who does an MSBA, be eligible for, or what are the kind of job roles that they can look forward to?
I can say a few about that. I think the most common job types are data analyst, data scientist, machine learning scientist, business analyst consultants, and data engineers, business intelligence engineers. So those are the most common titles. You can see some are geared more towards business, some are more geared towards maybe science or engineering. But it kind of depends on the student background and their strengths. They pursue somewhat slightly different subfield in this domain.
Great, thank you.
The one thing I was just going to add one thing super quickly about is that I mean, as you all know, data is such a massively growing field, and so really every industry now needs data people. So these kinds of roles that Dr. Dutt just described, you'll see them in every industry, from manufacturing to tech to medicine. And so just a lot of opportunities across all kinds of different industries in those types of roles.
Great, thank you so much. Another follow-up question is about the Career Center, or for new students who are looking to apply to Carlson. how exactly does someone go about getting assistance, because a lot of students are looking for assistance with their visa processes, etc. So what is the process at Carlson? How do you help out international students with the entire process till they get to the university?
Yeah, so you mentioned the Career Center, so I could talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that. But first, I'll start with the visa question. So basically, when a student is admitted into the program, and if they decide to enroll at that point, they'll work with we have a team here that will help them navigate any kind of questions that they have about the visa process. And then if they need any documents from us, those will be provided at that time. But that process doesn't really start until a student has already been admitted and decides to enroll in the program. As far as the Career Center goes, I'd say, and I'm going to probably pass it off to Dun Mochen to talk a bit about this too. I'd say it's a really core part of the program. It's one of the great benefits of the program. Not only do they help students with basic things like developing a resume or networking, they have a lot of experience working with international students and helping them navigate the U.S. job market. And I mean, and you saw on Doug's slides, just the impressive job placement numbers that we have for our students, for our graduates. And I think that's not only a testament to our amazing students, but it's also a testament to the resources that we have available to them and how we help them from day one of their program with every step of the way of resume development, finding jobs to apply for, connecting with alumni. It's just a really comprehensive, process, and they really help our students thrive here. But yeah, Duh, feel free to jump in and say anything else.
Yeah, indeed, the career office actually starting from orientation, they have actually a day dedicated to career, because we wanted to, because you only have 1 year and you need to study intensively. We want to emerge right into like how to navigate US market, like all aspect, networking. They organize events, all kinds of events as well. Career fair. So there's a career fair, a company come here talk about their, and we have networking sessions, mentorships from alums, and then eventually to sending your resume books to our contact positions and help organize this job search process. All that is well supported, and I think that it's important for our student to reach out to career center, because they are ready to serve. And think sometimes it's our students need to be nudged to, hey, please make an interview appointment or walk through your resume. So that, I think, our experience, as long as students are working hard at it, and usually the outcomes, it's good.
If you like this video, click the bell icon for more such content.